Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I'm your other co-host.
And I'm Adam. And we've laid out a very delightful scene for the audience here.
Yes, we have. There's all kinds of treats in the form of podcast material and such. And our topic for today is this contract we'd like you to sign.
Please. We can't go any further unless you sign it.
We need it. We need you to. The rent is Beldam high. Leasing an apartment from the other mother. Adam just showed me Coraline for the first time.
I did.
And that is where the other mother makes her appearance.
Yes. Also known as the Beldam. A witchy woman of sorts that lives behind the walls. Which does not sound threatening at all, but oh boy.
Let's walk through the plot of Coraline.
Yeah.
By Neil Gaiman and not by Tim Burton.
No, that was a common mistake. I think the director of the film directed Nightmare Before Christmas, which was not directed by Tim Burton. That's a common mistake.
Yeah, a lot of common mistakes going on, basically.
Yeah.
In the stop-motion animation world.
Coraline's about a girl.
A whole human girl child.
Well, she's stop motion, but I guess you can call her a whole human.
Okay. That's... okay.
It's not really a person, co-host.
Aw. Don't ruin the illusion.
Yeah, the story is just becoming sand in front of you.
Oh my god, like tears in rain. Next you're going to tell me SpongeBob's not real. Anyway, so Coraline's family moves into this really old house, and she finds a door that's been painted over. She opens it, and she finds a crazy awesome version of her own house and a weird version of her parents that have buttons for eyes, but they seem really nice and really attentive, which is good because her mom and dad are just in a place right now where they are not paying attention to her and they're kind of brushing her off a lot and stuff.
Two important pieces here is that her delving into this other world is preceded by a doll of herself that she finds.
Mm-hmm.
And it tags along with her throughout her day. And funny enough, this other world is reflected of all the things that went bad for her in like the kind of in the regular world. Like the food is delicious instead of being really kind of disgusting, and her parents are paying attention to her. The drab world around her has been transformed into the wonderful one that she wished for.
It's really amazing, and then eventually the other shoe does drop, or perhaps the other button. That doesn't make sense.
All 7 other shoes drop.
Yeah. That's a good point. It turns out that in order to stay in the other world forever and escape her parents, Coraline needs to have buttons sewn into her eyes.
You know, like any timeshare contract.
Right, yeah. And it's at this point that the other mother starts getting more and more monstrous. She makes, like, crazy furniture and stuff out of bugs, which I frankly loved, but the movie is trying to say is bad.
I suppose bugs are bad.
Bugs are neat. I love bugs.
Mm-hmm.
But not the way she does them.
No, yeah. The Beldam gradually reveals herself to be a kind of a spider monster of sorts.
She starts out looking just like Coraline's mom with button eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets worse from there. Now, Adam, really quick, I do want you to turn on your camera on Google Hangouts.
Okay.
And ta-da! I taped buttons over my eyes, Adam. I haven't been able to see this entire time we've been talking, Adam.
Ah, I see. Yeah, no, that's very scary.
It's kind of a look. Now I can finally take these fucking things off. We've been on here for an hour.
Yeah,
I goddamn masking tape on my face.
Understood.
Oh
God.
Well, and that's how you get out of the contract.
Yeah, you just gotta rip them out. They'll go over that in the movie.
Oh man, they shouldn't. They shouldn't actually. We've never done an episode where we're actually seeing each other. This is...
I don't know.
All right. I'll clip it out.
It's more of the... We're literally talking about a world that goes from drab blank emptiness to a world of color.
Oh, yeah. No, that seems like that could be a problem.
My brain's stuck on the parallels.
So, eventually Coraline learns that the other mother is really a ancient sort of creature that predates on children. It lures children into a little pocket dimension and gives them the best possible version of their life and everything, and then eventually it asks them to sew buttons in their eyes and then it eats them.
Yep. The Beldam feasts on kids.
Feasting on kids.
Which ain't a good look.
Not really, no. But it seems like she feeds on about 4 kids in 200 years, so not a great hit rate.
No, that said, the twin sister of the last one was kind of preventing her from getting a lot of kids for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Good 50 years there. So I assume that Coraline's kind of like a last shot for her. Hence, when like Coraline's thwarting her energy and world and powers are kind of unwinding.
Yeah, she is starving because the twin sister of the previous victim has refused to rent out to families with kids, and so her entry point into the material plane is this house.
Yep, it's one little door with one key.
Mm-hmm. Now, Adam, have you lived in an old house? What a lovely question.
Yeah, fortunately, most of my childhood was spent in a brand new house. But my first apartment was very spooky. Kind of like not as spooky as some like Philly ass houses, like I'm sure you're about to describe. But when I saw this movie for the first time, I was a little freaked out, going to bed at night and hearing just the usual creaks and creaks in my ceiling above me.
Well, if you don't have a doll that looks like yourself, you're fine.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. And like, I'm thinking of my life right now. It's like, what's the better version of this? It's just me sitting at like sitting at my work computer, but like in like a slightly better chair.
Oh, that whips. I'm down for that.
Yeah. So, but tell me about, have you lived in a creaky rundown home?
Wow, that question is much worse, despite being the same. Yeah, no, when I was in college, I lived with a couple of my friends in a townhouse that was like 200 years old or so, and there was all kinds of like painted over doors and that kind of thing. Our kitchen had a fireplace, but it didn't have a fireplace.
Yeah, I think you had different levels of kitchens too, if I recall.
We had like 2 different kitchens and 3 different bathrooms, and like there were like 8 of us in this house crammed together. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I recall 2 nights spending there, and they were crazy nights.
I was a bad host.
You worked with the best with what you had.
I feel as though, as the other co-hosts, I have to be better at hosting than I have proven to be thus far.
That's a good point. You're atoning to your hosting abilities.
Yeah, me as the other mother would just be like, "Oh, hey, Coraline, I guess we could go to 7-Eleven and get some soda. Is that cool?"
That's after like hiking back to the house and realizing like, oh, we don't have mixers.
Well, I love walking. It's not an excuse to walk around when you have guests over and lead them around Philadelphia. That's not really a fun thing for most people. That's just fun for you, co-host.
But now I would think that that house is brimming with bedlams. Just
yeah.
Bedlams out the wazoo.
I think we looked it up. I think like 2 or 3 people had died in that house.
Yeah. So that's really the vibe that Neil Gaiman embodies in this story, is that he takes, instead of the like creepy woods, I guess, setting, he goes, old ass house. Doesn't it feel like there's something that secretly here?
One time there was just a cat in our house and nobody knew how it got in there.
Oh, well, that's this movie has a good explanation for that.
Yeah. A great explanation. It's Keith David, actor of stage and screen.
Yeah, is it Keith David?
Yeah, it's Keith David.
Okay, yeah. So Keith David he can really zip in and out between worlds.
Yeah, no. He's all like, Coraline, I love eating mice, Coraline. It's really delicious. I had to work into that, but like, I had to go through some nonsense sounds, but I really landed on it. Keith David voice.
The thing about the world between the worlds is that I'm a cat and I can travel between them.
Oh, no, yours is better.
My script was terrible, though.
It's not like mine was good.
So let's get to the premise of our episode here. Is that
right? I would eat a beetle.
Is that the other mother really bad for kids and doesn't work out well for Coraline? But would she be effective as a landlady of sorts?
Yeah, maybe she stops predating on kids and starts predating on recent college graduates. Yeah, millennials, like that younger millennial, zillennial, me specifically.
Yeah. No, my timeline...
Adam, your lease is expiring.
my timeline for the past 7 years has been populated with just people, young people that have crazy encounters with their land person. And it's a career that I think is just as villainous as the Bedlam.
Oh yeah, no. When I was in school and we rented from a company to not be named, a property managing company that rented out to college students who were doing this for the first time and therefore didn't really know what the common experience was like. And so they were very good at taking advantage of me and my friends, which was fun and cool and normal and good.
Yeah, it's a very predatory in that kind of regard.
One time they sent a guy into our house that claimed he could reverse thermodynamics.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to get into that one.
Great.
So I just want to drop that.
Mm-hmm. So, what are the staples of the profession of being a landlord? I think it's mostly like you have to own a property, right?
Yep.
And then that's it. You kind of make up your own rules after that.
Yes, that is correct. So, how do you make an apartment look extremely attractive in the way that it is, like, fantastical and stuff? It's rent controlled. All right. Also, those buttons on my face. Utilities are included. Get me that needle.
Yeah, all you need to do is just promise stuff, and then you don't even have to go like pull through with it.
We have great renter's insurance. I was gonna pick chartreuse, but you know what? I will go with the traditional. I will do black. That's fine.
Yeah. No, the buttons on the eyes are really that's gonna be our the signing of that contract.
Honestly, I've seen people do weirder stuff to their bodies.
Then buns for eyes? Yeah, I wonder if I can get like half a deal for one button. Because that I'd probably be up on. I'd be more inclined,
I don't know. That doesn't strike me as magical,
Like a 6-month contract.
All right. Well, it's less about the buttons and more about what you lose from sewing the buttons on your face. You can't go back in the regular world like that.
Agreed. So let's talk about the other mother's pizzazz, because once again, I think she's dripping with it.
Oh, absolutely dripping in pizzazz. I'm not sold on that, but you know what? Nope, I am. I just got sold. Okay. Yep. I love dripping with pizzazz.
Yeah. She, not only does she deliver when it comes to food at the table, which is always a 5-course meal. With your milkshakes, chandeliers, and actual literal gravy trains.
Yeah, and like Coraline seems to eat so much, and like the character model never changes or anything like that. Maybe that's because she's 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, right. So the food is sorted out, and there's and everything always looks so live too.
Mm-hmm.
I would fully imagine she would populate the house that you're looking at with all kinds of not only like fresh fruit, but like plants, the new pets of this age.
Oh yeah, and also maybe a regular pet, like a dog with button eyes would be adorable.
Yeah, they have those in the film.
Did all the rats and stuff have button eyes or not?
Everything had a button eye.
Okay, everything had button eyes. Yeah, button dog.
And to your point earlier, I don't think that's necessarily creepy to begin with. I think it would take me like half a day to get used to everyone in the world having button eyes.
Yeah, no. Well, also there's the thought of it's like just the house and the immediate environs. It's not the whole world. There's not like a whole other world, really.
So you can go to work and then come back to this, magical amusement park of an apartment.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, the real apartment's in here. You just have like a really elaborate foyer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got like, fucking like vines coming down and snakes that feed you coffee.
Hell yeah. I'll take a coffee snake.
Yeah, it's just... I think that the important part of the realty process, getting the apartment, is the kind of the walking tour. Right, when you see the place for the first time. And I do not see... And like, it took Coraline a couple trips before she like caught on to things. So I think if when it comes to that first, in getting in the door, she's got you covered.
Yeah. You know what the worst part of this stupid button eye bit was?
Are like all your eyelashes gone?
No. I put the tape in between my eyebrows and my eyelids, like on the ridge there. Mm-hmm. But like the worst part of it was I did a full face of like makeup to look like the other mother, and I spent forever trying to get the eyeliner symmetrical. It's covered with buttons. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I did not see a drop of that.
I took that off just because I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, so there you have it. It should be worth noting that she does that all pretty, like, freaking effortlessly.
Oh, yeah.
If we're talking about, like, how much effort you have to put into this setup.
Mm. No, yeah, she really, like, waves her hand and, like, there's a mantis car or something.
Mm-hmm. And it all kind of comes from her, like just her sewing habit, which I think is good for, good for a landlord to have other hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just them checking. Oh, I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. Would you want a landlord that is doing other things, or do you want a landlord that's fully committed to paying attention to your apartments and the upkeep?
I want a landlord who charges no money and never talks to me ever.
Well, I
just get an apartment for free. This is what I want.
Yeah.
I think I might have just described half of jail.
You can get half of that deal with the ghosts that live in the other mother's mirror. We should talk about... That's one of the downsides that comes with the other mother renting out its place. Whatever that place is haunted.
She is trying to eat you.
Yeah. Beyond that, there's ghosts.
It's haunted by the ghosts of her victims. Honestly, that just keeps rent prices low.
I suppose.
I've heard of, like... This is not a joke. I've heard that, like, haunted properties tend to be valued less.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, like, if a property is said to be haunted, then, like, that affects the value of the property. People don't want to live in a haunted house, which, frankly, is something I should really consider taking advantage of, because I don't believe in ghosts, so that's fine.
Yeah, if you don't find ghosts scary, especially not, like, kid ghosts, you're also fine. That said,
no, that's fine.
Well, I'm not afraid of them. I think kid ghosts would be the most annoying to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, just running around, causing a ruckus.
Well, honestly, the problem is living with kids, not living with ghosts.
Yeah, that's it. But it's living with kids, but they never, like, grow up.
Yeah.
That's a bad pitch, if you ask me.
Okay, so that is points against. I'm seeing what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm. So, that's there. I think you mentioned something earlier, just a little detail that she's trying to eat me? Is that true?
Well, I mean, much like any landlord...
She's trying to siphon off my life force.
She doesn't just let Coraline live there for fun and also to see if she can get her to sew buttons in her eyes. It's also, like, she's eventually gonna eat Coraline, is the idea. So, she is gonna have to eat her tenants, but what if the tenants just get people for her to eat?
What you're describing is what I like, what I know in the business as the landlord pyramid scheme.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Can I live in
where
an actual pyramid?
perhaps.
Yes.
I mean, it at least looks like a pyramid on the inside, like the fun amusement park pyramid, not the actual, just a bunch of stone and dust pyramid.
All right, no, that wins. That's a winning idea.
Yeah, you basically need like a realtor. It's like, hey, I won't sew buttons on my eyes, but I will get saps to come in here and sell you the place.
Mm. Oh, realtor is the word I was looking for earlier. I was saying like property person.
Yeah, realtor.
Yeah.
So
No, my realtor sucked.
Now that I'm thinking about it, would the Beldam make a better realtor than actual like landlady?
Oh, you could make all the properties that you like tore look amazing.
Yeah, right. And you can really, I mean, she's got the charismatic pitch.
She does. She does have that in spades.
Yeah, she's a little more the final product though than the bard charisma proposing of the idea to her. I want to get a little more familiar with the Bedlam, if you will.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you a question. Do you think that the Bedlam would be a better therapist, therapy animal, or needs therapy?
Oh, great point. Well, as a therapy animal, I don't see, like, petting the Bedlam. Well, I mean, like, she could just, like, provide, food and snacks and things to make you feel better. Food and snacks and things that might not let you gain any weight. You can snack all you want and stress eat all you want and not worry about that part.
That's good therapy.
That's impossible in the real world, but
and it's also like she will literally transport you from will transport you into a safe space.
The safest of spaces, yeah.
Well, it's mostly safe. It's safe the first couple times you go there.
It's safe except for her.
Yeah, she's the least safe part of it, which kind of like a therapy animal.
That's true. Like a therapy dog still has teeth. Put that on a t-shirt. I want that t-shirt.
That's a real rebel cause.
This therapy dog bites.
Yeah, it's like a leather jacket.
What threatening people with your therapy dog is real.
Wow, that's like
dogs have an incredible relationship with people is the moral of that story. But
yeah. Therapist. Bad therapist, I think.
Pretty bad therapist.
She doesn't, like, at least directly give Coraline any solutions to her problems. She leads her into a fantasy realm where her problems don't exist. So that's a bad therapist.
And it's very, like, people, in my experience, and by people I mean me, go to therapists because of issues with their parents, and the other mother's whole deal is, hey, this is what having issues with parents looks like.
Yeah. And needs therapy.
Yes.
You think she needs therapy?
Yes, she needs therapy, Adam. Adam, she needs so much therapy. I don't know what therapist can treat an archfey, whatever she is.
Yeah, she's pretty archfey.
Is there an archfey therapist? Oh my god, like a therapist in the Feywild? Just like, that poor sucker. It has really got his or their work cut out for
I'm picturing like an ent. Like someone with a lot of patience.
Yes, that's what it is. Like,
I think you should maybe talk about your favorite memories.
My favorite memories are one time I lured this kid in with sugars and sweets and asked them to sew buttons in their eyes, and they did, and so I ate them.
And after you ate them, how did you feel?
Hungry, mostly.
So it's like you didn't eat them at all?
No, I guess not. I just kind of sat there in my holodeck spider world and just kept making the next doll.
Can we cut out holodeck spider world, because that's going to be my next novel name?
Okay, sure, yeah. I kind of want to keep going with this bit. I feel like we're on the verge of a breakthrough with Dr. Treebeard and Dr. Treebeard's Feywild therapy. And The Beldam.
I got to. I do have to say though, devil's advocate here, Bedlam's advocate here. Is her need to eat children like a dietary restriction?
I feel like as a magical creature, much like how Slender Man steals people, and how the face stealer, steals faces, I do not think it is a dietary restriction. Boy, once in a while we just drop an episode that's about like some long boy who lives in the woods and it's got something to do with people not having parts of their face or all of their face.
Yeah, huh. I think you're right.
And I wanted to bone Ko and Slenderman, but not the Beldam.
Oh, really? I'm surprised for once.
You're surprised?
Well, I feel like, well, when we were watching the film, you seemed to be really into it early on. Was that this seems like a good deal more than
yes.
Yeah, okay.
More this seems like a good deal than like I would want to. Looking at references for my other mother makeup, I did find a lot of images that were very strange in nature. A lot of them where she's inflating and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And that I just did not understand. Like, I don't understand why you would be attracted to a creature that reminds me so much of my mom.
I'm not gonna yuck any yums, but
okay, yeah, fair. To each their own, but
yeah,
it's not mine.
No, and especially her true form is very sharp and dangerous.
Yeah,
like she's literally I do not want to get anywhere close to the final Beldam form.
Oh no, she's covered in needles. Like, yeah. Real problems there. And also, monster fucking was last season, Adam. This season, it's all about my issues.
I hate to break. I think that's been every season so far. But okay, so let's. I think we're in a good place with the Beldam herself. We learned a couple of things about her in that therapy session. That felt good. Do you want to go back to that therapy room?
I would love to, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Do you maybe want to switch roles where I'm the tree therapist and you are the Beldam? I keep wanting to say Bedlam. Beldam. Beldam means beautiful woman.
Okay, yeah, I'll go back to the... we can switch.
So there's this new girl, Coraline. I haven't eaten in so long, and I've developed a world for her. A perfect world. Just the world that she needs.
Okay, what does that entail, if I can ask?
There's a big garden and a big top upstairs, and down below is a theater.
Love the part about the garden.
Yes.
Keep going.
I created a fake husband to tend to it.
Okay, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, that's on the... That's it. I think you had the eureka moment.
Okay, right there. When you say fake husband, is it the same bag of sand every time you use to make the husband?
I don't know. I do know that I bold him to do exactly what I want every time.
Okay, we need to talk about that.
He doesn't talk back to me, or have any opinions on my outfits?
Holy shit. I'm gonna make so much money.
Is what Treebeard is thinking.
Yeah. I imagine therapists have a pad, and they write things in an A column and things in the B column. And there's that day where they just all connect.
In the Feywild, it's a very real possibility that your eyes could turn into $signs and give away your whole thing.
Yeah, we're correct.
So, do you have any sexual feelings towards this bag husband?
Not anymore.
What? So you used to, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I used to with my first husband.
Tell me, are you ready to
Wait a
talk about
second.
him?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Very good. Okay. We're going to try some guided hypnosis.
This is the part where Treebeard hypnotizes her into not eating children. It's entrapment hypnosis.
Well, okay. So we had another breakthrough with Dr. Treebeard. Beldam had a husband.
Yeah, that might be, and that actually kind of, to bring this full circle, goes into, I think that's where a lot of landlords come from. I think there's a lot of kind of divorcees, widowers, widows.
You're saying that's a stereotype.
I'm just out on a limb. It's people that kind of, take time that would go towards a significant other or spouse and put it into renting a house to people.
I mean, that does sound like a stereotype, but also it makes sense.
Yeah, I think I've seen plenty of examples, and I will not say that's not true to all landlords, certainly.
Right, yeah, of course. Is she trying to fill a void?
I think that might be part of it. Or, like, the bed... For all the, we don't know the full story about the other kids, but I think Coraline being a single kid's an important piece of this tale. Because the Beldam doesn't, like, create other, like, I don't know, children of her own. Yeah, she's very lonely in her own world. And that's the important part there. And I think that might really truly tie into why she feasts on children's souls.
Well, she wants to internalize them. Like ritual eating, food magic type stuff.
Yeah.
Like how the cavemen would eat like certain animals to get better at hunting those animals.
Or in Pokemon we call it EV training.
In Pokemon we call it EV training.
So yes, no, she and there might also be some part of that like kind of childhood innocence. When you're alone as a child, it's not maybe that's not entirely true. You don't require as many people. Coraline's a person that throughout a lot of the movie is very fine just doing her own thing and kind of going off on her own. So that kind of independence, I think it might be part of what the Beldam craves.
That's
and
true. Like
I think that'd be a good thing for a landlord to crave.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to like it when I like, for example, I don't have any desire to go to Disney World, but our cousin who is really into Disney stuff, I really want to go to Disney World with her.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I would love to feed off of her, like, jubilant, happy, I know everything here kind of energy.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how I feel when rewatching movies, like Coraline.
Right.
I've seen this movie before, I know it in and outs, and but watching with something like you makes me think like I see it in a whole different light.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good insights and terrible consequences.
Yeah, more like button sights. Makes no sense. Yeah. So could we just pay our rent with love?
Honestly, that might work.
It's Feywild rules. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah, it's not... It is Feywild rules. So that you don't have to... like, putting buns on the eyes is not like a full step of the... It's a very vague and, like, ominous part of the process, right?
It's like an outward, like, expression of devotion. It's a ritual. It's a material thing that I think a narcissistic sort of person would demand, but I think it could be, we can teach this Beldam to recognize love in less overt, simpler ways.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. That's the perfect answer here. Love was the answer.
Love was the answer. We did it.
Yeah. Good job. We've been having some good endings in these past few episodes.
We've been crushing it lately.
Yeah. All the Beldam needed was love, after all.
How do you measure a rent? In buttons, in gardens, in buttons, in cups of buttons, in inches, in miles, in buttons, in strife, in 525,600 buttons. How do you measure your life? Measure it in love. I'm mostly just happy here. Sorry for spiraling.
That's fine. I mean, I think we nailed it. The Beldam, once she curbs her appetites and get the help that she wants, she can absolutely be a good landlady.
And maybe for Christmas, like, her tenants can get her a gift card for, like, Aldi or something.
Oh, Aldi's. Not like Michael's or some kind of craft store.
Okay, yes, but also I was thinking, like, you can just buy meat. What? Yeah, no, the humans, they have places where you can just buy meat. I can't look like a person. You can. Oh. Yeah, you can just come out here and just buy meat and then just come back and we can... You don't have to eat kids, Huh.
Yeah. That's a really good point. She has a diet that consists of like veal and eggs and just
veal and eggs. Yeah, that's children.
Yeah, it's just different kinds of children.
That's technically children. Yeah, and like the innocence part of her dietary requirements are already filled by like the love and like the warm kind of found family that she's found in her tenants, which I now want to make an entire sitcom about.
Yeah. Every now and then she has a little caviar.
Yeah. That's loads of babies. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, we really fixed the Beldam.
You just get her a thing of caviar and she's set for like life.
All right, let's take the other mother to the final rating place.
All right, yeah.
Where we I gotta say, we did her pretty well. And I really like the Beldam as a monster to begin with, so I'm inclined to give her a very high score.
All right,
I'm gonna give her a 9.5 out of 10.
All right. Well, I think the idea that we have of like making the lie real, of saying like I'm a fantastic person to have here, whoa, but I'll eat you. Like, okay, if we get rid of that last part. It's good. And
yeah, it's just the beginning of Hansel and Gretel. It's a great time.
Yeah, and as a family movie villain, she doesn't really show remorse.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't really show any signs of wanting to change. So in our fictional version of her, extra canonical version of her that we've made up.
She does want to.
Yeah,
so.
well, we have her going to a therapist who's a tree.
What a show we have.
That version, we are great people, and we're good at what we do. I would say that is 10 out of 10, but canonically, the canonical version, I'm gonna give her a 10 out of 10 on the creep factor. Really good. What I want to do is not rate Coraline the movie.
Yeah.
Because that's
Coraline the movie, I think, is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
But the Beldam herself. Yeah.
You know what? I've been trying to be meaner lately. And this is our first monster, I think, that is just explicitly evil since I started this trend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give her a 4 out of 10 for being mean.
Wow. I feel like my rating is a little bit about our fictional reality. Ironically,
it'll average out.
Yeah, but in reality, the Beldam, the hand that follows you through the door, I'll give her a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, no, it's what a wonderful monster that we got to meet this episode.
This was lovely. We really should do this more often.
Yeah, so join us next time when we travel to. Oh, God. Who knows what's next? We might go to the sewers. We might go to the mountains.
I have an idea. It's actually an ethical idea with no problems.
All right, let's handle that shortly here.
All right. Well, goodbye, everyone. And I wrote you a little piano song for all of you listeners, and it goes something like this.